Hey everyone, I'm the Canadian Lad, and I just watched the Spider-Man No Way Home trailer again at 0.25 epic speed and found 10 new details. Just to give you a heads up, the last 3 details are the most crucial ones, so please make sure to watch till the end. And I'd like to thank you lads for taking my previous Spider-Man No Way Home trailer breakdown trending at number 3. Now I should warn you, some of the details I'm going to give you in this video might spoil the movie for you, so if you want an absolutely clean experience in the theaters, I'd suggest you click away right now. But if you have decided to stick around, then let's just jump into it. Number 1. For this detail, I need to take you all the way back to Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 2, so stay with me on this. Now, Alfred Molina appeared as Dr. Octopus for the first time in this film, and we learned that he was trying to create renewable energy for the whole world.
Like a perpetual sun providing renewable power for the whole world.
So he did begin with a good intention, and this inhibitor chip was meant to keep him in control of the tentacles at all times. However, the infusion eventually goes wrong. Now initially Dr. Octavius was in complete control of his mechanical arms or the tentacles. We know this because if you notice the core of each tentacle, it glows white, meaning Dr. Octavius is in complete control of the arms. But when the infusion goes wrong and this inhibitor chip also breaks down, the core starts to glow red, meaning the tentacles have taken over him and are now in complete charge. We get a visual demonstration of this again at the end of the movie.
Listen to me now.
Now let's fast forward 18 years, and in the Spider-Man No Way Home trailer, we can clearly see his mechanical arms are still glowing red. This means Doc Ock's character arc hasn't been lost, and we're picking up exactly where we left off. Number 2. I know in my previous breakdown I told you how we were being misled by Marvel, who made us think that Dr. Octopus is addressing Tom Holland's Peter Parker here, but I proved my case that this is actually Doc Ock addressing Tobey Maguire's Peter and not Tom Holland's. And I also told you that Willem Dafoe's Green Goblin will be here in this bridge, as we can spot the same construction barrels in both shots. Now I'm still sticking to all my claims, but now after more digging, I think not only Green Goblin, but Dr. Octopus will be here in this bridge as well. And of course I can prove this to you. Notice this building behind Doc Ock's tentacle. It is the exact same building that we see behind Tom Holland's Peter Parker. And notice Doc Ock actually emerges from the underground, which you can only do if you're emerging into a bridge. Unless Doc Ock was in a sewer, but I reckon we have another villain for that. So all of this evidence points toward one thing, and that is both Green Goblin and Dr. Octopus will be here in this bridge. Whether or not he was talking to Tom Holland here is something that remains to be seen. Number 3. In this scene where we see black-suited Spider-Man, Sandman, Electro, and possibly Green Goblin, notice it seems as though Sandman isn't fighting Spider-Man, but protecting him from Electro's lightning blast. In fact, you may as well say this is Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, not Tom Holland's, because of how similar this looks to Tobey's Venom suit from Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 3. So the question is, why is Sandman shielding Spider-Man from Electro? Well, the answer is simple: continuity. Because at the end of Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 3, Peter had forgiven Flint Marko, aka Sandman, for the killing of Uncle Ben.
I'm not asking you to forgive me.
I forgive you.
So judging by the leaks and how the trailer looks, I'm anticipating Sandman's story to also pick up from exactly where we left off, and that would explain why he's fighting against Electro here. Number 4. In this scene, Peter is talking to this woman, but suddenly he notices something. But that's not important now, let's keep our focus on this character. Now in my previous video, I did predict that this actress Paul Newsome might be playing Miles Morales' mother. Although that's still possible, but come to think of it, she might be playing MJ's mother, which would make her character a little bit more relevant to Peter in the film. Twitter user at Spider-Man and More may have gotten an affirmative response from the actor herself, who replied with a wink emoji. Number 5. Now notice the car she's in. This is the same car that we see on the bridge when Green Goblin's pumpkin bomb goes off. Now as the door is opened, we can assume this lady managed to escape from this attack. So if we sort everything chronologically, this is how it may look. Peter must have known this woman. That's why he came here to protect her. Or he was with her to begin with. That's when Peter gets up on top of this lady's car and suits up. And later Green Goblin makes his appearance and blasts one of his pumpkin bombs. Now I'm not exactly sure when does Doc Ock make his appearance here, but as I told you, he will definitely be here as well. And of course, everything that I'm predicting here might all just turn out to be one wrong theory, so please take all of this with a grain of salt. Number 6. When we see Peter donning his Iron Spider suit, or the nano suit as some may call it, notice in the background we can actually read one of the license plates. It says MTU2174. This could be a reference to Marvel Team Up issue 21, 1974. In this edition, both Spider-Man and Doctor Strange team team up and fight against previous Doctor Strange villain Xandu. So Marvel is probably taking inspiration from this comic, as we know Peter will end up fighting previous villains like Doc Ock and Green Goblin. Now John Watts, the director of this film, likes to play around with license plates in the movie and put hidden Easter eggs. He did it in his last 2 installments, so yes, that pretty much guarantees the validity of this Easter egg. Huge shout out to the Comic Book Insight on Instagram who reached out to me with this detail. Make sure to check them out. Number 7. Now this detail is so simple that it's my favorite. When Peter Parker suits up on top of this car, notice the taxi in the background. It has the number 1228, which is actually the birthday of Stan Lee. I can't believe I missed it in my previous breakdown. And if you think about it, Stan Lee unfortunately wouldn't get to see the best Spider-Man movie ever made. I mean, the character Spider-Man was like his baby, and to see all incarnations of the character teaming up in one film, oh lads, I wish Stan Lee was here with us. Number 8. When Doctor Strange messes up the spell and everything goes wrong, we see tons of quick shots and effects showing us the multiverse. Now I watched this entire scene frame by frame, so I actually went even slower than 0.2 Febix speed. Anyway, I stumbled upon this symbol, and then I went back to the movie Doctor Strange, where the Ancient One gives Steven a wild ride through the multiverse. And guess what I found? This exact same symbol or shape. Now here's the crazy part. We saw this trembling figure in space right when we got to see multiple versions of Stephen Strange coexisting together. So this movie already established this specific symbol has something to do with the multiverse, and being able to spot this same multiversal effect in Spider-Man No Way Home trailer just makes it even more certain that multiple versions of Peter Parker will appear in this film. And if we just rewind back a second, we can even spot the same light rays coming out of Stephen Strange that we can also see in Spider-Man No Way Home. So out of all the multiversal effects, why would Marvel specifically choose to use this one if multiple versions of Spider-Man wasn't appearing? And if you're still not convinced, listen to what Ancient One says exactly when we see this.
You think that this material universe is all there is?
She was basically confirming the existence of the multiverse. There we go. If somebody questions Tobey and Andrew's involvement in this film, just show them this detail. If they're smart enough, they will know. Enough said. Number 9. At this point, we're all pretty much aware that the Spider-Man No Way Home trailer got leaked a day before its official release. Although you should never leak anything as big as this, because there were consequences. Sony was going to release the trailer anyway, so whoever did it, that wasn't a wise decision. Never in my life I'll support anything like that. But yes, a plot leak is good enough to theorize, but an entire trailer leak? That's a crime, innit? But having said that, notice this huge difference between the leaked version and the actual trailer. Sony intentionally cropped this actor's face, making it harder for us to make out who exactly is playing that character. If this character wasn't really important, and if this really wasn't Matt Murdock, why would Sony go the extra mile to crop him out in the trailer? This does raise a lot of questions, and I still think this is Charlie Cox as Matt Murdock. Number 10. Now this detail isn't really a detail, but more like an appreciation. Notice in this suit-up scene, Tom Holland goes from his usual formal suit to his Iron Spider suit. Now if you have been a fan of the MCU Spider-Man for a while and know the ins and outs of the character, you will know that the Iron Spider suit is just too good to exist in real life. So this whole suit that we see in the movie is just essentially Tom Holland wearing a motion capture suit. At least that's how it's been so far in Infinity War and in Far From Home, where Tom wears the mocap suit and the VFX team overrides it with his Iron Spider suit. But apparently the VFX team at Marvel and Sony have gotten so much better, Tom didn't even need to be in a mocap suit this time. They were able to CGI him over his regular attire. And notice they even CGI the shadow of him, which also reflects his transition. Now of course the VFX team is supposed to do all this in order to make it look real. So why am I making a big deal out of this? Well, I'm not. I'm just appreciating what they do. Now a lot of people are blowing up my DMs asking why Doctor Strange still has the Eye of Agamotto. Well, the simple answer is, in the comics it doesn't really carry the stone. It basically allows him to see through any mystical threats, or any spells that could potentially harm him. It also lets him track mystical signals even across dimensions. So him carrying this doesn't really mean he has the time stone. It has its own abilities as well. Or maybe there's a bigger plot behind this that we just got to wait to see. And remember, the Eye of Agamotto that Thanos destroyed was a fake.
It's your greatest weapon. A fake.
I think the real one was protected with a spell that even Ebony Maw couldn't touch it. And that's it. This would be my second breakdown of Spider-Man No Way Home trailer in 0.2 Febix speed. There were trailers I didn't even break down. And then comes this one, where I just literally made part 2. That's how much content we got in this 3 minutes and 3 seconds. 3 minutes and 3 seconds, huh? Boy, they're really shoving the 3 thing down our throat, eh? And I should tell you, in terms of the MCU arc, Captain America aka Steve Rogers is my favorite. But in a general sense, Spider-Man is the character I've grown up loving. I mean, who didn't? So you can understand my excitement for this film, for any Spider-Man film really. Now if you like this video, then please give me a thumbs up, grab the subscribe button and turn notifications on. Please make sure to watch my previous breakdown as well. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter, where I'm getting more active every passing day. Till then, I'm John Wick, and I'll see you lads in the next one.
Nathan!